And
Hey.
here we are, another day. How do you do?
I'm going good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You feeling all right?
Yeah, I did my last RAD PSS. I have all the education now. I still have to do the temporary thing and get all my hours and all this stuff. But
The insane amount of hours you were
hi,
talking
someone
about
just
yesterday.
joined. Thank you. Yeah. So to be a CAD, well, no. Okay. So TRAD PSS is like let's start. RAD PSS is like a peer support that's certified in drug and alcohol. And
Ooh.
yeah, so and to do that, after you have your core peer support or whatever, you can go to Best KY offers. You have to take 21 additional hours, and they offer it for $75. And you take that, and then you get a supervisor and apply to the board in your temporary. And then you have to have the temporary for, I think it's 500 experience hours and 25 supervision hours, which is like roughly only like 3 months, not very long. And then you are a registered alcohol and drug peer support specialist. That's what it stands for, RADPSS. And
That's
and
a lot.
then yeah, that's a lot. And then also from that, CADC one to be a certified alcohol and drug counselor in Kentucky. To do the You either have to have a bachelor's degree, or if you don't have a
Uh-huh.
bachelor's degree, you have to do. Do you have a bachelor's degree?
Yes, does it matter on what?
I don't think so. Like depending on what it is. If it's a related field, you get more hours off. Like but
Oh, okay,
you
okay.
still, regardless, it takes a crap ton off. Like
Yeah.
even if it's on nothing non-related. But and so to be a CADC, you have to either, like I said, you have to have a bachelor's degree. If you have a bachelor's degree, then you follow a different pathway than me. You would get a TCADC, which is a temporary. And I'm not really sure like the requirements for that, but for me, I have to follow because hi Ollie and Archie, hi Chucky Bride, I am following a I don't want to go back and get a bachelor's degree. I don't want to do all that. So I'm just going to do a CDC. So to file for a CDC one, all I have to do is have 40 hours of board approved education. Peer
Yeah.
support doesn't count there. That doesn't count. But the 21 hours does count of additional for the RAD PSS. That does count. So I have almost half of what I need for that. And then pretty much that's it. Just the 40 hours for the number one. Number two, you have to. Okay, so for the number one, you have to get the 40 initial hours, and then in the first 12 months, you have to get 30 more. So the 70 total for that, and then for the second one is 70 as well, and also like some I think 400 hours of experience for that, and 80 of them have to be counseling, and then you have to hold the number one for at least 8 months, and then after you're a number two, you have to do, I think, if because I don't have a bachelor's degree, it's 6,000 experience hours, and
Ooh,
yeah, and I think like 250 supervision hours or something, which is like roughly 3 years if you do like 40 hours
that's
a week.
disgusting.
Yeah, yeah, blah blah, yeah. So yeah, because a lot of states, a lot of other states, they literally go do like, you're in Kentucky or you're in Ohio. I keep forgetting that. Yeah, so like you don't have to do all that to be a CDC. I have a friend in Ohio that did it, and you go to the board, whatever your board website is, and you have to do a 40-hour course. I think you do like a graduated thing as well, where you have to hold a number one like for so long and get a number two. But like now with your bachelor's degree, you may not have to do that either because
So I am going to be. I'm linked up with opportunities for Ohioans with disabilities, right? And Social Security is actually paying my student loans for the next 3 years, so I can't go into like federal grant and or loans and stuff. That otherwise they'll cancel that forgiveness, and I really kind of need that. So one thing that the Ohio Opportunities for Ohioans is doing is they said that they will just pay for the CDCA classes. Um, it's been amazing because like I'm not there yet. I just did my intake, and they said they're going to do all the things. But they're going to buy a computer for me and set me all the way up, and then also help me integrate into the workforce. So
oh my god, that's
you just spilled
awesome.
out. It kind of is.
Yeah,
Um,
congrats.
Thank you. I mean, it's congratulations, or I guess more of a gratitude because it's kind of been given to me or just thrown in my lap, and I'm really thankful. So You threw out a whole lot of information at one time and a lot of acronyms that I have really no knowledge about, and I'd like to know a little bit more. So, is there like a informational page that I can go to or informational link that you can send me at some point?
Yeah, I can. Now because you're in Ohio, like the best
It's just
place.
different.
Yeah. Ohio and Kentucky are so different. Like what I was saying about like the CADC. Like I don't think you like after you do your initial 40 hour. I have a friend. I'll tell you what. I have a good friend of mine actually too that have done this in Ohio. So I will reach out to them and hey, what's up, Josh? And
What's
find
up,
out
Josh?
like exactly where you go in Ohio. But I'm pretty sure in Ohio, like after you do your initial 40 courses, you have to keep up like every year. It's like I don't know 20 CEUs or something. But you don't have to like do like how I have to go. I have to have all in total 300 education hours, 250 supervision, and 6,000 experience. You don't have to
That's
do all that.
insane. So the only thing that I have to do once I got the the CPRS is just
Hi,
30
O'Shea.
continue. A is just do 30 CEUs in a 2-year period. That's it to keep certified. And I'm not sure about the CCA.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's I don't know, and it's crazy how it's so different. But I do have a friend in like I said in Ohio that did do all of that. So I will reach out to her and find out like exactly where you need to go and stuff. But whatever your board is probably like the best. That's where I know she said she was on my very first episode and she kind of explained it a little bit. But I really, I know she said she went to the board website and took a 40-hour course
Yeah.
and then she got to go to work. So like,
That's awesome.
yeah, and in Ohio, or in here in Kentucky, when you after you are a CEDC one, like when you are, yeah, I've got 40 hours of education and a supervisor and stuff. Like you can't even really get a job here as a C, like until you're a full CEDC. Like so, I have to continue to work in some other position, like a peer support or something like that, and kind of like get experience in when I can.
Yeah.
So it's going to end up taking like longer than 3 years, anyways. Because
I wonder why it's so different. That's stupid. I'm just going to say it.
It is really like I was really discouraged. Like, and then for a while too, like somebody had told me that like that I don't want to say like should have known like that, but like that I thought knew. I get and it was an honest mistake. Like they were not doing it, and they like really thought that you had to have. I guess they just in 2020 they made it to where you don't have to have a bachelor's degree, or before that you did to be a counselor. You could not be a counselor in Kentucky without one. So I'm not sure if it was 2020, but it's like around in there, just like recently. So when I spoke to this person, they told me that I could not do it without a bachelor's degree, and I like almost died because I was like so discouraged. You know what I mean? But I now got that sorted out. I emailed the board and blah blah blah. Like, and so that's the difference is that like if you have a bachelor's, you have to do a TCADC, and then if you don't, you do the 1 and 2 graduated pathway like that, and it's just like a ridiculous more amount of like they do still really make it really like almost impossible. Not impossible, but like so much that like it's
Right.
it's still really discouraging, but we're gonna get there.
What's up, my guy?
What's up, guys?
Hey,
I'm at work, so if I have to jump off, then you know why.
yes. I'm glad you
No
came
excuses.
back.
Thanks for
We'll
being
see
here,
you the next
buddy.
couple days, yeah.
No problem.
Hey, dude. So we had some pretty awesome stuff happen yesterday. This person came on and they were 2 days sober, and
And
just was like,
yeah, like looking. The one guy was like looking for
Yeah.
help. Like we gave him some like direction to go. Like I have a friend that lived in the state, and he kind of and then James jumped right on Google and start just
That's good.
phone numbers and stuff. Yeah, it was actually
Arizona, bro.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah.
It
Arizona.
don't matter where you are.
Yeah, that's far.
It was pretty cool, actually. Leanne and I afterwards were talking about just how rewarding that felt and how humbling. And like she sent me a message. It's like, I'm so high right now, and then she had to clarify afterwards. Like, I mean, like I just on like the emojis or whatever, on the endorphin rush. I knew what you meant though, but yeah, being up there on cloud 15, that was pretty cool. And plus the engagement was awesome. The feed was going, and it just apparently hit the right people. So it was,
dopamine spike.
Hey, Kelly.
Yeah.
So
yes. I was just learning about dopamine spikes, and I was just doing class work before. Just hearing about that, but yeah, definitely has.
It's in my book, Just a Theory.
Uh-huh.
You read that? Did you read Just a Theory in my book?
I don't know. I've read a few. I just like randomly scroll through and just find one. What page is it on? Do you know?
I don't know.
Oh, he didn't have that in his back pocket today.
No, he's usually really prepared. He usually knows. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah. Oh, he's looking it up. Thanks, Cal.
Yes, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Where do you work, Josh? Arc?
Yeah.
I guess a better question would have been like, what do you do? Because I don't know what that is.
Arc is it?
I'm a penile gazer.
Oh.
A what?
Or I collect pee, one of the two, whichever one you want to call it.
Gotcha.
I hope they're paying you the big bucks for that, bro.
They are not. I don't do
not.
Hey, it's a job though.
Yes.
Yeah. I decided to give back for a year for it. I have put application into a couple of sales jobs and stuff to see to go back on, go back to working for real. But I ain't made my mind up. I got like 3 more weeks in peer support classes.
Okay.
And then I'm done with it. But I don't know if I'll use it. But
so I'm kind of picking, but I'm kind of curious at the same time. Like, if you were to get a promotion, what would you be doing? If you're collecting piss now, like, what's the next step up?
I found
it. Okay. Go ahead. I'll let you read it.
Yeah, you ain't got to answer that, my guy.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many jobs here. It's
okay.
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did know, like, I've been, like, researching the crap out of, like, recovery jobs and stuff because I am, like, I don't know, like, how much I've told you, James, about, like, the whole, like, the new job in the recovery thing. Like, I'm struggling with myself if I'm going to take it or not because it's a big...
You just told me last night.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. And as I was
like, saying, briefly, though.
Yeah, like, so it's a really big pay cut, and I know that, like, like, I have, like, decades of, like, managerial and supervisor experience and stuff. So, like, I'm going in at entry level in a new career, and I completely get that. But, like, it is a big pay cut, so I'm, like, having to fill out, like, am I going to be able to do it? And so I've been looking into, like, once I get in there, like, where can I go? Aside from just, I know, like I said, we were talking about, like, CADC and stuff, but if I didn't do that, like, is there anywhere I could go up? And there is, like, a crap ton of, like, job, like inside of facilities that like kind of move up but aren't really like moving, I don't know, like more responsibility and a little bit higher pay.
Yeah.
Not like, not like a high
I always said that I was going to I got to do an amends to the healing place because they saved my life. But they're a nonprofit. So like if I go there, I'll have to teach classes, but I won't get paid for it to be volunteer. But like, nothing says in God's will that He wants me to help people. I know He does, right? Like it's beyond argument. That's what God wants me to do, but it doesn't mean that I have to get paid to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, And I wrestle with that. Like, do I work in recovery or do I not? I don't know. Is it God's will? I don't know. And then, man, I just got to see if there's progress being made in my life. Because God don't want to see me fail either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
for sure.
I know I have to keep giving back. But on where does that's a gray area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now we're giving back. We're doing what God wants us to do.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Like I struggle.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure.
are the meeting like are these lives and the podcast like is that enough for like not just for God but like for me, or do I need to take this? You know what I mean? And that's kind of like that's kind of exact same thing. Like, all right,
Yeah, well, there's a story that I just heard the other day, and it's a great story. So there's this I can't remember his last name, Mordecai something. He's a tent preacher, like at in the late 1800s, early 1900s. He goes around in little tents and preaches. He's not the most famous guy in the story though. There's two 14-year-old boys that are kind of peeking in the tent, They kind of walk up there, and then somebody sees them. They take off running. Well, the usher sees them and stops them. So get over here now. And he says, "Look, I'll make a deal with you. If I can find y'all two seats sitting by side each other, will y'all come in?" And they agreed. Well, both of those two 14-year-old boys went in, and they gave their life to Christ that night. Right? Nobody knows the usher's name, but the two boys. One was Billy Graham. Okay. And the other one was his partner, and it helped him set up, and probably saved the most people ever. But like that God's will for that guy's life was to stop them two, not on his watch. Those two 14-year-old boys are going to come in and get them, and God, tonight. But that one guy, that usher, saved millions of people. If he wouldn't have done that, Billy Graham went on to do what he did.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So we don't ever know. That seed that we plant, it's up to the person to water it. But we're supposed to plant seeds.
that's really cool.
There it is. Yeah, for sure. Love it. Love it.
All right,
Very good.
Little Josh's just a theory. We who suffer from the disease of alcoholism live with a natural deficiency. Our brains don't produce enough dopamine and serotonin. Before we pick up a drink or drug, we walk through life feeling restless, irritable, and discontent. That's our baseline. But when we put that first one in us, something different happens. We have an allergic reaction, not the kind that swells up our throat, but one that removes our ability to say no to the next one. The moment that substance hits, we finally feel the drip of those chemicals that normal people seem to get on their own. It feels like peace, like relief, like a breath we've been holding since childhood. But here's the twist. We get that same rush, that same chemical release when we help someone. That's the key. That's our true purpose. Most of us have lost our way, many because of childhood trauma, many because of pain, abandonment, shame, whatever the case may be. But deep down, I believe this. We are God's chosen people. We were wired differently for a reason. We were made to be helpers, healers, light bringers. The only real relief we can find that lasts comes not from a bottle or a bag, but from being of service, just like God intended. So maybe they shouldn't call alcoholism. Maybe they should call it God's chosen. Hello, my name is Josh E., and I am blessed to be one of God's chosen because I'm irritable, restless, and discontented, unless I'm helping someone else. Isaiah 43:1. But now this is what the Lord says. He who created you, Jacob, he who formed you, Israel. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. God doesn't just choose you. He calls you by name. You're not random. You're his. God, make me a beacon so lost souls may find their way to you. I like it.
I do too. I mean, there's a lot there. First of all, I like the idea that that we are the chosen people, because ultimately, how can you truly be of service to somebody without knowing the pain that they're going through?
Yeah.
I mean that's huge. So someone who's disconnected or looking from afar can sympathize, but there's a whole new degree of connection when you empathize with somebody because you've been there and you know those feelings. Did I say that right? It's empathize when you can relate to the feelings, right? Like in that kind of way.
It's sympathize or empathetic, something like that. I'm not sure.
Empathy when you relate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but even deeper than that, if you have the gene of alcoholism, now they can do a genome on you and find out if you have this gene of alcohol addiction. They just called it alcoholism back in the 1950s when they discovered this. So because drugs weren't really a player in the 50s, right? So if 50 or 60% of people that end up in rehabs have this gene, right? We inherited it. and that gene causes us not to get dripping dopamine and serotonin like normal people get. So when we do anything, that's why the big book talks about we're irritable, restless, and discontented long before the drugs ever get to us. When we do drugs, so like this is a normal person's dopamine drip. This is what Dr. Burns Brady told me. All right, here's that person that suffers from the disease. And then a flood, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when we put that drink or drug in us, that's why our brains get hijacked and the power of choice is taken from us, because we get this intense dopamine spike that normal people don't get the same rush that we do when we take that first drink or drug. They get it, it's not as intense. And then our brain is, and then this euphoric recall happens, and we're like, well, I know how to feel better. The fastest way for me to do that is our DOC, our drug of choice. And so, but it's like I always say, like, there's a lady who goes to CR and she's had a blessed life. She is one of us, though. She just never picked up a drink or drug because she never had any trauma. She had good parents. She got placed in the right place, and she loves helping people, and she gets off on it. And when she does the lesson, I tell her, I was like, if you would have ever picked up a drink or drug, you'd have been in rehab like us, but you never did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure y'all know somebody like that, like a really good pastor or a really good policeman who really gets off on helping people because that's his true calling. That's how God wired him to be, just like us. We just lost our way maybe because, trauma or whatever the case may be. There's all kinds of reasons why we lost our way, and we found drugs instead.
Well, maybe we lost our way so we could help people with drug addiction. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that was our purpose. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, and maybe it's just like me feeling better, like thinking that but like, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Like, that we had, this was our purpose makes me feel like that everything I went through was like for something at least.
Yeah. So everything you just said there, Josh, especially about the part where there's a difference between what somebody who doesn't deal with addiction and alcoholism, or one and the same. They just don't feel it different because I would be with my friends or whatever, and they'd be socially using. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good, gnarly, whatever. They're just high, but it was deeper for me. It was that warm, comforting blanket. I can breathe. It was like all of the anxiety left while somebody else was just using or socially indulging and just having a good time. It was instantly like, this is different, and this is what I've been seeking, so I don't have to feel that pain anymore. So I like what you said about that. I could totally relate.
Yeah, if you've been to a lot of meetings, you notice that when people say, I have arrived, they're speaking, and it's a speaker meeting, and they say, I knew I had arrived. Like, that's a universal feeling for a reason. There's science behind that. We all have that same feeling of arrival because we're getting that dopamine and serotonin. Yeah, I actually wrote about that. But how many times have you been to a meeting and heard somebody say, I knew I had arrived?
100%. Like, it happens all the time because we have to be present for our addiction. That's for sure. Like, once we arrive there, once we got to that point, here we are. I can 100%. And it's always said in the meetings, it's all those little cliche sayings that actually make sense. Like you were saying the other day, dude, like, it's been around for a long time. And it's been around for a long time because there's reasons behind that,
Yeah. But I'll read Have a Ride if y'all don't mind, if you want me to. How many times have we been in a meeting and heard someone say, I have arrived? That universal feeling among us addicts. But why is that? It's because we were wired differently. We're genetically predisposed. We don't get the same steady drip of those rewarding chemicals, dopamine and serotonin, that normal people do. We walk through life feeling irritable, restless, and discontent long before we ever pick up a drink or a drug. So we chase anything that gives us that drip. We run a mile a minute until we burn out. Or we overindulge in food, sex, chaos. Whatever it gives us that chemical release for a moment. That I have arrived feeling is the rush from those rewarding chemicals lighting up our starving brains. But here's the thing. When a person who isn't genetically wired like us takes a drink or drug, they don't get the same feeling. That's why the phenomenon of craving grabs hold of us and the power of choice gets ripped away. Our brains get hijacked. That's why we experience what's called euphoric recall, an obsession with remembering the high and forgetting the hell that followed. It's why we have to properly arm ourselves with the facts about who we are and what we suffer from if we ever truly want to heal. From a biblical standpoint, this runs even deeper. We may feel different from others, either much or way or much better, worse or much better. We might look down on ourselves constantly, compare our mess to the good people, or if our addiction seems more sociably acceptable, we justify them by pointing out how someone else is worse. But the word says otherwise. As the scripture says, no one is righteous, not even one. Not one is truly wise, not one is seeking God. All have turned away and all have become useless. Romans 3:10-12. Whether we're chasing a high or feeling a false sense of control, none of us is exempt. We're all broken and in need of grace. And when we finally stop chasing that chemical arrival and start chasing God, that's when our real healing begins. But yeah, it goes on, but I'll stop.
Can't hear you.
Muted myself because my daughter came in. I said you
Yeah.
don't have to stop reading if you don't want to. I love hearing your passages. I'm excited to see the new book and stuff. What is that noise? Is that
Yeah.
somebody else's or mine? I don't know if it's my. It sounds like it's my computer keeps doing this noise and I can't figure out what it is.
Yeah.
It's not mine.
It's like a, I don't know, like a.
Hey, Bray.
Hi, Bray. That's my daughter. Brian, that's my nephew.
Oh. Support. Love it.
Popping in to hit the likes and stuff.
I know I've got like $6,000 going right now. Josh, I'm beating you today, dude.
Oh, good.
We were battling the other day. That was great. Yeah, I like that. So, I got a couple questions to kind of guide our conversation if you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do this one because we're all in different places in our recovery. What are your one or two, or if you have none, that's great. You know, what are your current challenges in recovery?
Mine is God doing God's will, making sure I'm doing it. I beat myself up over it because I served my whole life. I served me and I served God part time. And so I'm kind of at that point where if God asked me to go be a monk somewhere, I'll do it. You know what I mean? But He don't ever ask us what to do exactly. You know, kind of. He talks like the wind. You know, you feel it. You know what I mean? Like, so I make sure before I make any decisions, I pray hard. I consult many people that are God-fearing people. You know what I'm saying? And make sure I make the right choice not on impulse or emotion. I make sure logic and God's driving the decision. You know,
Yeah.
and women. But I'm getting really good at that. So I'm not talking to anybody I don't want to. But
For real
but
though.
like, I'll have a relapse in like a week from now. You know what I'm saying? Like 3-year-old message me and I'm like, "Hey girl, what up?" You know, and then I'm like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" Put those away. I don't need to see them. I'm trying to. It's real. It's real.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What they say, like
Well,
a year or two in recovery before you're supposed to get involved with somebody.
Yeah, that's yeah. Like when I went to the men's healing place in like 2016, I had like 3 girlfriends at the women's healing place. Like I did the most, you know what I mean? But like I did everything else right, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I held on to a few character defects, but that's what ended up getting me high again was my character defects, you know, and resting on my laurels. But I relapsed on those before I relapsed. Well, I never relapsed because I never gave them up. I'm like, I do everything else right. Like I adopted a kid, right? I can sleep with who I want to. I'm good on everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a good job. I pay taxes. All my kids got everything they want. I can do a little bit of selfishness, but
Sure.
I found out I can't. I can't do any selfishness because I'm a hopeless case like the big book talks about. I will go so far, like off the rails, so fast if I just even smoke a little bit of weed. You know what I mean? I can't have any chemicals in my body, and I can't live selfishly. I got to live by everything, or I'm going to fall off. It might not be today. It might be 5 years from now, but eventually I'm going to fall off.
Well, I'm very proud of you though, because you sound
Yeah.
very, like you have got it. You clearly, when you talk about your inventory and stuff that you do, you take it very seriously because you do. Everybody has issues, man, but you know what they are, and you have like an attack plan. So, like, I don't know no other way. You know, there's nothing. Everybody has character defects. Everybody has flaws, but like you have recognized.
I got it.
And plan. All right.
Huh?
I got first
Oh.
earlier, man.
Yeah, he was here. He was here.
Yeah, no, that.
Derek.
He's hiding the phone.
My bad.
I was like trying not to
All right.
talk for a minute because I was like, I don't want to.
It was funny. Well, I'm glad he was able to pop in. He'll probably be back in here in a second. What about?
Popped in. It was an M name. I didn't see it in time, but hi, welcome.
So the question is, what are your current challenges in recovery? I know, Leanne, you have like 8 years, and I've got like 5 years. We have completely different journeys, and it was just 1 or 2 challenges that you might be having right now.
I think like my biggest challenge, I think for myself, is that when I first got like I got clean and I came down to Kentucky, and I just like I got a job and I got married and I had a couple kids, and I really didn't pay any attention to my recovery or to myself even. Like, you know, not just my recovery, you know, itself, but even myself, like no self-care. Like I said, I got married, I got a kid, I had 2 babies back, you know, like pretty close together, and I already had an 11-year-old. So, and then a new husband, and, you know, we were just moving in together, you know, all this stuff. And I just kind of buried everything, you know what I mean? And just kind of focused on like, and that worked fine for a while. But eventually, once I got now, you know, I'm settled into my life, we're married, we in our home, you know, blah, 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 things are slowing down. I started getting very, very depressed. Like, I was like, I felt like I was, I don't know, like turning my back on myself or something. Like I was ashamed of myself, and that like I'm not ashamed of my past. I don't love it, but I think it is who I am, and it happened for a reason, and I've always been that way. So like, I don't know. And then that got me farther in my head because I was like, oh, now I'm hating on myself. I don't know. And so that's when I started the podcast. And so my challenge now is just finding a good balance in what works for me, because I'm not a program person really either. I have been I'm trying to hit a meeting a week just because I'm trying to find what works for me. But I mean, they're really not for me. I don't love them. So I'm really loving this that we're doing at night, though. It's real, like it helps me a lot. And then my show, of course, helps me. So that would, I guess, be my biggest challenge right now. And then, of course, trying to figure out if I want to go and work in recovery or not. You know, I heard
that pay cut that you've been working so hard to, you know, achieve, just because it's meaningful and it gives you purpose. And
yeah, I had heard today in my, like I said, I had the last class for my drug and alcohol peer support today, and they said that somebody that works in recovery is 40% more likely than someone that's in recovery and works a different job to relapse. And that scared me a little bit also. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't say that to scare you. I just, you know, that was... So,
you know, that makes sense, because like the burnout's real. When you're hearing all those heavy things from people and you're hearing the stories, like if you don't have a good supervisor or go-to person to be able to... and if anybody else out there wants to join in, you're more than welcome to.
Yes,
but
yes, always.
I can totally see that 100%, because if I don't keep myself grounded or have my mooring lines attached around me to center me or my accountability partners, man, all it takes for me is, like you said, you're starting to feel depressed, or, you know, might be anxious, or maybe, you know, I'm having those extreme highs, you know, everything's going really, really, really good. And then, hey, I got things taken care of and all that. And that's where it becomes concerning for me. And so, yeah, I mean, I totally get that people are more likely to relapse because they're hearing those stories. And like, you can't tell me that occasionally you think of that memory that, because this is what my brain does at least. Oh, I had a good time at that particular time, and that felt good, you know? And so I have to easily, like now it's just like I reset, like, well, like Josh said, like I'm not going, like I can't put the substance in, like period. I know I've been down the road too many times. I've got like 5 prison numbers. I'm just not doing it. I'm not going back, period. But I still have occasional moments where I'm like, man, that brief little snippet of a moment in my crazy behavior, I can tell a wild story, and I have to be careful of not like glorifying or war storying, yeah.
I think yeah, like I struggle like with my show, like some people they get on that about we shouldn't talk about the mess, and and it doesn't work for everybody. And if you are one of those people where you can't talk about it at all, fine, and I understand, and just keep scrolling, and that's fine. But for me, I think that talking about it helps. It helps me. It helps other people. Also, I wanted to tell you, my friend that I said was a counselor in Ohio, she is in here. She just joined. Hi, Rachel. I don't know when I didn't see her pop in, but yeah, she's in here still. So, the question was, Rachel, I don't know. You can join the screen if you want to request to be a guest, or you can just type in the comments. He was curious about as far as becoming a counselor in Ohio, because Kentucky, we talked the other day, it's so different. But I thought,
Yeah, like from my understanding, I just do the CDCA. It's like you can pay for classes, and then next thing you know, you can be a chemical dependency counselor assistant. And the CPRS also seems pretty much easier than where it is for you. And I've already received the. I'm sorry.
See, what did you just say? What was the last one?
The CPRS, the Certified Peer Recovery Specialist or Supporter.
Oh, I don't think we have that in. I don't think we have that here.
No, you do. You're a Certified Peer Recovery Supporter.
Oh, yes. I thought you. Okay, I thought we were talking about something else. They call it. Just APSS, Adult Peer Support Specialist. That's where I was in my head. That's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was CPRS for here or whatever. That's the certification. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. So.
Hi, Big Fish.
Big Fish. So I guess to be fair, I should give you what my current challenges are. Well, I wanted to be able to piggyback off what Josh was saying about the women, because I had to completely redefine how I see women, how I treated them. There's Josh. I knew he'd be back.
She typed in the comments. I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't or James. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. She typed in the comments, the easiest place to do a CDCA is in Ohio. Is Addiction Counselor CE.
Okay.
They make it simple. So
okay.
Addiction Counselor CE, they said. And did you say, Rachel, initially you just went to like the Ohio board or what and applied, or did you say you took your classes on that website as well? And you can go ahead and talk, and she'll answer back.
Yeah. So Josh, glad that you're back. I was just going into like where you're having your women troubles or whatever. So I was just telling Leanna, like I had to completely redefine how I see women, talk to women, engage with them, not sexualize them. And now I feel like I can actually see women in a new way. And that's been really important for me, because even as a CPRS or the peer recovery supporter, you're going to be able, you have to but we work with men and women. And back in my old days, I would be like, yeah, dude, whatever. But then I'd be like, so what's wrong with you? Like I would always try to take a funky angle at things or try to holler regardless. But now it's not even like that. Huh?
Hi, Chris.
13 stepper.
Right. But now it's not like that. I can like dedicate myself to one person, or be able to have a conversation with a woman and not just see them for something sexual, and that's been big for me. So I wanted just to piggyback on what you were saying earlier with that, because it was a struggle for me too. Now, current challenge in recovery is kind of just the labels and stigmas, because going back to the community from which you did all the things, there are stories out there, and some are true and some are not, and some are glorified and all that, because that's just what happens when you're nefarious and getting a job or just trying to connect with somebody. They oftentimes just see what's written on the paper, as opposed to seeing the new person that you are now. And that's kind of like the only one that I have in the moment. But I do have to ground myself, because I do have those extreme highs and extreme lows. But that just comes with, I guess, mental illness territory. So yeah, so there was one question. Now, I wanted to ask another one. What is a positive memory from your recovery journey? Just give me one.
I'll let Leanne go first.
Oh, she's looking off to the side too. She's thinking.
Okay, I got one. I guess my probably biggest positive memory from my recovery journey is, I don't know if you know this or not, but I had my oldest daughter when I was in prison, and you know how my family is. I've explained that to you. So she went to foster care, and when I got out of prison, I got out of prison on October 22nd. And I stepped straight out. I started doing drywall. I got out on Thursday. Monday, I started doing drywall. I got my license, all that stuff. On December 2nd, I stood in court and got all my rights back. Like, it was like a month and a half later. And I was like, I don't know. So that was super exciting for me because I did it. Like, I got her back so freaking quick. And, some other things happened that kind of played in to my favor with the foster mom, and there was some stuff. But anyway. But, that was probably my proudest moment. Like, I did it, on my own, and that was very, very big for me. And that was very early in my recovery because I got clean because I had her in prison. So,
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a great one. Thank you. How about you, Josh?
I guess get my kids, because before, when I first got sober, I wouldn't ever prayed to get my kids back because it was too far out of the realm of possibilities. Like, I would have prayed for a Ferrari or win the lottery before that, because that was more likely to happen. And I'm not exaggerating none. It was, But then all my kids moved in with me, and eventually, and I even, adopted my stepson, and I had to put him in rehab at the time and stuff, and but he don't really even do anything now. He's a good kid, but if I would have still been out there, it wouldn't have just been me lost. It'd been him, because he had nobody else to take him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's good too.
All right.
So,
I'm sorry, James. She's in the comments. She said, oh, here, she's trying to get in. Here she comes. There we go. Hi, Shalise. All right, Rachel, hi. So, this is James. He is a friend of mine, and he lives in Ohio as well. He's a peer support, I think, already, and is that the only certification you have? Yeah, he's a peer support, and he wants to be a whatever you guys call it, CDCA. And
CDCA, chemical dependency counselor assistant, yeah.
The easiest way, can you hear me?
Yep.
So the easiest way that I found to do it, I did mine in 2020. I found that going on addiction counselor CE, because as of February of next year, you have to do it on somewhere that it's all bundled. So addiction counselor CE, everything's bundled. And if you get in there and apply for it, you just apply for first you'll have to do the preliminary. But when you apply for that preliminary, it pulls up all the courses that you need.
Okay.
And you just take those courses. It'll fill out your chart, your grid for you, everything on there. And then the last course that you do, there's going to be like 3 different ethics courses on there. But the last ethics course that you do, it'll show you to where you can go on and submit, the links on there to submit it to the Ohio State Chemical Dependency Board. So it guides you everywhere on there.
No, that's great. And it sounds like it's pretty fluid. It sounds like it's pretty easy to link up with it.
For you guys. Takes
Right.
It's hard.
17
It's
years.
hard for Hannah.
Yeah.
I tried to help her the other day, figure out where she could do hers at. Because even with her being, close to Virginia, she could have gotten one in Virginia. I have many friends that live right across the bridge from me in Kentucky, and they hold a Ohio Chemical Dependency license. And, they want Kentucky to go to college to get theirs, and they want Virginia to go to college to get theirs. And I'm like, man, Ohio's so simple.
Yeah, I was.
So now that you're on here, Rachel, can I put you on the spot real quick? And thank you for that information. I appreciate you. She's like, I'm never going to join again. No, it's an easy one. So, just in your recovery journey, just any positive memory from your history in your recovery journey.
Like any positive memory that I have in recovery, not like from
Yeah, just share a positive memory. We're going to keep it light and happy and, good.
Having the state of Ohio give me all parental rights and my children back. That's my biggest.
Leanna and Josh all. Yeah.
That was me. Mine was my kid too. Yeah. Hi.
That was my biggest. Because the state of Ohio, like, they didn't have to do that. I was talking to my mom about that. Like, the state of Ohio, when they take your parental rights, like, you have nothing to those children anymore. And to walk into a courthouse and then say, hey, we're going to give you your children back, like, that was big for me.
That's what I said. Like when I got Braylon back, when I had her in prison, and like when I got out a month and a half later, I got that was just such a big. Because for me, like I spent a lot of my life not even thinking that like that getting clean was ever a thing. Like for like it would never happen to me. My whole family did drugs. I was like, I'm just gonna do drugs my whole life. Like I just never thought it was a thing. So like for me to get out and then immediately get out and do something that huge, like I don't know. That was
so good.
Good stuff.
So good. So I guess as you guys are touting about getting your kids back, that's still in process for me. So I mean, I need to stabilize a little bit more. I'm still a little green out in the world.
Do you have children?
I do. I have a daughter who was born in 2010, and off and on custody over time. And I just found out that I have another daughter out there that was born while I was in prison. And
really,
boy, was that a special moment.
A baby, I'm so happy. Look, I'm happy. I'm like a baby.
Well, so my child is about 4.5, almost 5 now, because I did 5 years. And
my son.
Right. And I'm so proud of the mom. She's turned her life around too. She got sober and is like working in a recovery place and is doing all the good things. So I had like when I saw her at a recovery event and she was like, oh my gosh, like seeing me walk across the field, and I look over, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is all coming back. This is what's happening. And so I walked up to her. I was like, oh yeah, what's up? It's good to see you again. She's like, you want to see your daughter? I was like, oh, so that happened?
You had no idea?
I had no idea. I was actually told while I was in prison that she miscarried, or or that it was a lie or something to that effect, But
she was pregnant before prison, though.
Well, I had heard rumors that she was pregnant, and I heard rumors that she might be lying, and I also heard rumors that she miscarried. So, like,
right.
I did the whole prison bit thinking that it probably wasn't true, and I had forgotten about it. So I look at her, and she's like, first thing out of her mouth was like, well, that happened, and you are the father, and I left the father space open because I didn't know, and we can have a conversation. I'm like, oh, so it's great to see you too. I'm like, oh my God. It was a really kind of intense moment, but because she has grown so much, the mom, and because I have, when we had that conversation, the mom was actually worried that I wanted to like jump in the whip and be like, hey, she's my daughter, like, because she knew me from before and my family values. So she thought that I was trying to like get visitation rights and all the things. And I'm sitting here like, does she want me to like be involved, or like I just don't know. Like, if she want me to like dad up, and I would 100%. But she's been living a life for years with our daughter without me in it. So we decided, which I love this decision. It was like best of both worlds, that
Trinity.
When our daughter notices her birth certificate and that the father space is open, blank, she's going to be naturally inquisitive. Like, yo, mom, like, what's up? Why isn't my dad on there? And the mom was going to be like, we've been keeping contact with your dad. We can do a DNA test because that's, that's the next step. And just leave it up to our daughter if she wants to reach out and find out who I am or not. You know, and we're gonna support our daughter in whatever decision that she makes. So I was blown
Do
away.
you think maybe though, like, just the birth certificate specifically, or you think just like when she starts questioning the dad thing?
I think that we will address all of it. So she calls the mother's partner dad.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I did. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Yeah.
So
Well, I didn't mention that. So of course you didn't know.
Okay.
So she considers the other man daddy, and of course, you know, like why wouldn't you? And so we were both just trying to respect each other's wishes. We were both just trying to respect our daughter's decision when that time comes. So whenever our daughter notices it and is like, "Yo, my dad's out there, but I don't really give a shit because I call you daddy." If that's what it is, that's what it is. You know. But if she wants to know, then I'm gonna, you know, be present for that. And there's gonna be no pressure on either end to perform in a way that's uncomfortable, because ultimately it's about love, like for real. It's
I
about
love
the
that
child.
you're being so grown up about this. Like, I know that, like, hi, John. I know that, like, it's really hard. I can imagine. I do not know. But, like, to just say, like, okay, that's my daughter, but I'm going to give the space. Like, but I think that's very mature. Like, I love this. But, like, good for you, you know?
Like, is it hard to say, like, she's my blood out there and that I'm not involved now that I know? Yeah, it is. And like when the mother was like, "Hey, you want some pictures?" Like it wrecked me. Like just hearing the word "you want some pictures" and her offer that to me, like I lost my shit. I'm not even gonna lie. I started to cry. And but I'm in such a different place now. She's in such an amazing place and doing such great things that I just know on the other end of things, it's going to be what it's going to be, and it's going to be right for our daughter, and that's the most important thing. There's not going to be any like beef or whatever. If I got to step up, then I'm going to step up, and if there's not space for me, then there's another direction that I need to go. 100%.
If only all situations could be like that. I would absolutely love that. So I've made it to the grandma phase.
Hey.
I am a 37-year-old grandmother. And I'm struggling with, like, right now, my 19-year-old dad not even, like, having anything to do with him and has never met my 18-month-old grandson. Like, why can't we have situations all the way around happen how yours is happening right now?
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong.
That's a big struggle with people in recovery too, especially around here. Like moms and dads, they go to treatment around here, and dads find out things or moms find out things when it comes to their kids, and it's like one or the other. They just want to fight back and forth. Be on the same page, communicate. Like,
So yeah, 100%. And I used to be like that. I used to do the fighting back and forth with the mother of my first child. I won't say baby mama. I think that for me, it's a level of kind of disrespect. She is the mother of my child regardless. And that's how I will address her. And I want to make sure that I always mention that because I think it's important. But there's still some discord there. Like and rightfully so, because I've come and go in my first daughter's life, and I've been the knucklehead, I've been nefarious, and I go to prison, and I come back out, and I go to prison again. And so the mom has a right to be concerned and careful and want to keep our daughter away from that.
Is she
And so
or no?
she's never had an addiction problem.
That was my question. I don't know how to say like, but I don't know.
No, yeah, but she knows about what it is because her mom is, challenged. She has her own addiction issues. So she grew up in an environment where there was heavy addiction. But for the mother of my first child to not ever have to deal with that specifically, she carries a little bit of resentment towards people who are actively using, and there's just a lot of pain there, because like I told you before, I had to redefine who I am with women, and I wasn't the best with her. You know, I with her specifically, I was mentally abusive, and back before our daughter was born, and regardless of how much I own that or apologize, she still stuck with those memories, and so I have to be sensitive to the fact that she may never recover from that, and it's may affect our relationship, my relationship with my daughter because of my actions in the past, regardless of the new person that I become and all the things. So,
and that's so hard for
Yeah.
me to let people forgive me on their own time, because I feel like I'm doing good and they should forgive me now, and that's not fair. So you're way more mature than me. Congratulations. And you were,
I don't know about more mature.
But I want to
It's
say
just
real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
John Poe in the comments. I'm so sorry, but I do not remember you. But thank you so much for the for the kind words, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Anytime you ever see us on, feel free to join, and you're always welcome to join the screen as well. Sorry, I don't know.
Oh, you're good.
I wanted that instant gratification too. I wanted everyone to forgive me, like I'm doing amazing.
Right.
So yeah, that's a two-edged sword for me because I've done amazing many times before, but I keep fucking up, or I kept fucking up. So I can only put myself in somebody else's shoes and say, oh, there's James again. He's doing all the good things, and we're just waiting for him to jump off a cliff again. And so I have to be careful of just making sure that I'm consistent for a long period of time. So, and that goes with either one of my daughters. Consistency is key. Show who I am. Stand behind my values and morals. And if it takes a year, 2 years, 3 years, it doesn't matter, because regardless, I'm still going to be redefining myself and strengthening who I am as an individual and my character. And transparency is key. You know, you can click on anything in my world and find out, because I don't live in the dark anymore. And that's been really important for me too. And so just having that solid grounding of I'm out here and you can find out whatever you want, because all doors, all whatever, it's been helpful. But I totally get the instant gratification. Like, hey, see me, I'm doing all this stuff. And sure, I have those moments too. Like, Leanne and I have talked about our successes a lot, you know? And that's cloud 15, but I have to be careful with that, because even when I'm on cloud 15, I forget seeing the big picture. And it can be a really...
Self-sabotage.
Yeah. The next thing you know, you're trying to juggle so many things. You're like, oh, okay, fuck it. There's James. He's gone now. Like, he was doing all this great shit. Now he's under a fucking bridge again. Go figure. But yeah.
If you guys hear screaming, no one's dying in my house. My boyfriend is watching the Cowboys game.
It's
Hey,
They're just gonna
okay.
be my kids screaming in the background. It's fine. They're actually asleep tonight, which is going to be awful for me. I'm going to be up all night, but they fell asleep a little bit ago, and I didn't want to wake them up before this. So.
So I guess I need to share a positive memory from my recovery journey. As it looks like we're getting kind of close to time here. You guys were touting about your kids. You found out a little bit about mine. I know you didn't know that.
I did not.
What's up, Tyler?
How you doing today?
Good. Thank you. We're talking about what's a positive memory from our recovery journey. And so,
Daniel, hi, A.
Leanne, I think I told you before, when I was in prison this past time, all of my outreach work that I was doing, you know, developing programs of change, pioneering the peer support program, literally having a line of people into like the quartermaster or whatever room, waiting to, I mean, like that was getting recognized outside. And so, like my mentor from afar, my role model was Norm Mulder, the founder of Tabuku. It's just a program of change, you know. And he came in and did a massive graduation for all the
What's that
guys
stand
that
for? It stands for something.
the only person you cheat is you.
Yes.
Here it is, you know. It's about setting SMART goals, you know, the specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and time-bound goals in various areas of your life, and burning the bridge to those negative habits. So you're reinventing yourself. You are making new habits, and you're not going back to the old ones by setting specific, measurable goals. And So I got to meet him. He came in. Hundreds of dudes got to eat cake and all. Oh yeah, for sure.
Jelly.
It was fantastic. And then I got this. The staff came to me and was like, "Hey, we don't know why or what, but we apparently have an interview with Michael Singletary in 2 days." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Who's Michael Singletary?" Apparently, he's like the Hall of Famer linebacker for the Bears or something like that. And in like the early mid '80s. Now I don't do sports, so I had no idea who like. Yeah, I had no idea who this dude was. And he came with his PR team, had the camera all set up, and there he is in his Hall of Fame jacket, sitting at the table, and nobody knew what was going on besides the fact that he just wanted to interview me. And I go and I sit down, and he's like, "So, you've been doing some good stuff. Talk to me. If you have a message of hope or whatever, I'm going to record you and pass it on to others in other prisons. So tell me about what drives you and all the things, right?" And so I did, and I got to meet him. And then I got to meet Alex Sheen. This is all while in prison. He's the founder of Because I Said I Would program, where you keep the promises that you say to others or to yourself. And that was pretty cool too. I mean, like just being in the walls and having people hear about that. That was some positive memories for me. That just as much as I could be bad, I could be that in a different way. That much gooder, better. Yeah, there it is. Much better. On the opposite end of the spectrum, because we put so much of our energy into the getting and using and finding and all those things that we talked about, we always talk about, but being able to shift that, transition that thinking into new light and new drive to staying in the path of good. So anyway.
You went far while sitting still, I told you.
Went far while sitting still.
Didn't have to go nowhere, they came to you.
Yeah.
I love that. My prison experience was nothing like that, but I'm more
Actually,
yeah.
I had a prison experiences like that. I forgot the actor's name. Who's that dude that played in like Machete or the Mexican dude with the big woman on his stomach?
Oh, what is his name? He has like 20 years of sobriety or 40 years of sobriety right now. I can't remember what it is.
So when I was in Arizona State Prison, when I was on a medium yard, they actually had him come to the yard and everybody got to meet with him.
Really?
Oh, that's cool.
And he talked about like him being in prison back then and then how he got into sobriety. And so it was real cool to meet him.
Yeah. And to think that he went through what he did and now he's going back and like meeting you. And my friend just looked up the name real quick.
That's what I'm doing too. I figured it out.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool, dude.
That's mine popped up just too.
Yeah, so yeah, that was like back in 2016.
Oh, that's really cool.
I was on my fourth prison bit by then.
I was on my fifth, so.
Yeah, I just got done with my fifth. Oh my gosh, right?
Well, what did he say? Did he like give a speech or like?
Yeah, so he basically told us like that what got him into that, and basically what led him out of it was when he made the movies of like American Me and Blood In, Blood Out. Those are the movies that they made him get out of that lifestyle because the consequences that the inmates in prison at the time came across. But then he got out, and then he had a son. I guess his son went going through the same stuff, and then he started, forgot what it's called, but he started like a outreach program about it and taking kids from the street that are in the same situation. But he told us to basically like think about like how everything is in there, but like how we talked about on your podcast, it's that people don't care about you in there, or they don't care about you in the street lifestyle, and they're basically just trying to use you until they have no reason to use you, and everything, like everybody in that lifestyle is replaceable.
I didn't know you're the Tyler that was on yesterday.
Yeah,
What's
Friday.
up, Tyler? What's up, Bobby?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting in the emergency room right now, but
Oh, are you okay?
yeah. So starting since Tuesday afternoon, I can't hear out of my left ear, and they said it's an infection, but blockage, and then the urgent care tried to clean it out yesterday, and they made it worse. So they're just gonna do it, trying to clean it out as much as they can without it hurting.
And you even did the podcast, not feeling good. Good for you.
Yeah,
I feel bad.
yeah. No, it don't feel bad. It just goes to show how much that I care about sobriety and how I want to turn other people into sobriety.
That's awesome.
Yes, that does show.
I appreciate
And
you.
I just talked to one of my friends. Yeah, I just talked to one of my friends today that I haven't seen since December of last year.
Oh, that's what's up.
And he's actually sober. He's 4 months sober.
Well, that's awesome. I love when people, like when I see my friend Rachel. James. You don't know this. Rachel was actually a friend of mine from real life, and she got clean long before I did. How long have you been clean?
A little over 9 years.
And so she got clean before me, and we kind of went, separate paths. But she was on my very first episode, showed up to support me and all the things. So I love seeing people that, and me and Rachel never did use together, but especially people that I used together. Like I love seeing them, like, because I know how far they were and stuff, and so I love that.
Like the best part is I was using with this guy, and we did dirt, we sold together. And I remember, last time I seen him, I remember him, he got high and he was on the verge of overdosing. And I noticed it because I tried to get him to stand up and he was dead body weight. I said, dude, I'm going to Narcan if you don't stand up. And he wouldn't, so I Narcaned him, but I stayed around long enough to make sure he got through it all right and it didn't get any worse, because everybody was just going to let him sit there and fall out like that. And I couldn't. It's like I said, my friends mean a lot to me. And so I Narcaned him, and he didn't get mad. He just didn't like the sickness that it came with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I talked to him today. He's actually doing good. He's about 4 or 5 months sober, and he's trying to get back into He's trying to either get back into another outpatient treatment or go into sober living. And it's I told him, I'm proud of you. And it's the first time I talked to him in so long.
Yeah.
Me and my mom went to an AA meeting today, and it was only 4 guests there besides the dude that did it. But the guy that came in, it was his first meeting. He was from Ukraine. He can barely speak English, so his sister helped him translate. But just hearing his story about, he's only been in the United States for 3 or 4 years, 2 or 3 years, and just knowing that he left Ukraine to come because of the war and stuff. But when he came over here, they had him in camps, and it caused him a lot of trauma. And then he used alcohol to do it. And just his story touched me, and it touched my mom too, because my mom's never been to one of those meetings, and her first time going, she felt for this dude, because you could see the pain in his eyes and how much he wants it, but it's hard for him to understand.
Hi, Huntress. I love that your mom went with you though, Tyler, and support. I love that people. I know James is very close with his mother, and I love it. I love it when people's families support you guys in recovery. I love that. Actually, guys, so we've been on for an hour and 10 minutes tonight, so it's time to wrap it up. James, do you have a time that works good for you tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Sunday. Same time, same place.
Monday.
Monday, that's what I meant. Same time, same place. I'm a day off, but yeah. if you're available at the same time tomorrow, let's rock it.
About 7, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody that was here. Thanks, everybody, for all the love and the comments and the interaction. Anybody, anytime you're
Love
here,
you
feel
all.
free to pop in. Feel free to send a request. We'll let you on the screen. We love hearing everybody's input. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, have a good night.